Noon. It's Monday, March 17th, 5:30 in the afternoon. Don't go by our clock up here. I'm going to call the Board of Selectmen to order. Charlie Bozello,
Here.
Megan Semio,
Here.
Ian Barney,
Here.
Jenny Angel,
Here.
and I'm Andy Fitch, and I'm here. Welcome to the board, Jenny.
Thank you.
Do we have any? We have no elected officials that need to be sworn in, so we can put that at the bottom of the pile. First item on the agenda, reorganization of the Board of Selectmen. Do I have any motions?
I'll make a motion that Andy Fitch retain the chairmanship of this board.
I'll second that.
So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in-
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Election of the vice chairman.
I nominate Ann Barney to continue her tenure, would you say?
I don't think it's a tenure, but,
As vice chair.
but continuous enough.
Continued vice chair position.
I'll second that. So I have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We need an ex officio for the planning board. Our planning board ex officio is gone. Would you be interested?
I request not to, only because the planning board meets on Thursday. I'm a member of the Baker Valley Band that rehearses on Thursday, so I
Okay.
would prefer not to do that. And that's the only reason. But
Okay. Do we have any nominations for that?
I'm boarded out, so
I don't think you guys want me on the planning board with my imminent.
What's that?
I don't think you want me on the
Imminent
planning
departure.
board with my imminent departure. You actually have to
Yeah.
show up, participate.
So I'm the backup for the time being. I'll continue. We need to really, somebody's gonna need to step up to the plate with this.
Yeah.
Okay, we have no minutes to approve. Charlie, how about giving us a quick rundown on the Economic Development Committee?
okay. We have a meeting scheduled for Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 5:30. There's a number of things on the agenda. One is a bunch of four members of the Economic Development Committee took a tour of the mill site that the town owns, and we will be discussing those observations. I have the previous reports, Andy. I think you're aware that 2018, 2019, there was some engineering analysis done of that, and I think we're going to look at what the potential is. I would share the observation here that mill site is deteriorating quickly. Okay, that the water infiltration is just about everywhere at this point. I mean, through the roof. I think the good news is that I don't think it's groundwater infiltration from the river, from what I was able to, limited observation. But, I mean, clearly the water is pouring down from above. I mean, I was down actually today. Craig Moore and I were discussing it a little bit, and, I mean, it was raining inside the building. I mean, that's what we're dealing with.
it's one spot. It's not everywhere.
It's
It's really bad where it is.
that spot is catastrophic. It's already caused failure. But we're in there today, and it was worse than what the Economic Development Committee saw on Friday. It was, I mean, it was raining. I can't describe it any other way. Now, that said, I think those engineering studies, I wouldn't refute any of the points they make, but some of it might be a little overstated. I thought the mill building itself was still structurally intact.
Straight.
Yeah, and I mean, just as an amateur, looking at it, I mean, I have some familiarity with industrial buildings from, my career, but, no engineer on the subject, so it's just my opinion, but the beams are all vertical and in alignment. The main joists are secure, and I didn't see any breaks or fractures.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of substantial structure there, and it's industrial structure. It's capable of significant loading. Now, the floors, I mean, there is some concrete flooring which is intact, but where the flooring was, oak or wood, it's almost, needs complete replacement. But I guess I would try to, discuss and make the board aware that something has to move forward on this one way or the other, because I think in a couple more years, it's going to deteriorate to the point where there's nothing you can do. I mean, the scaling of some of the steel beams is beginning to accelerate, although it's superficial at this point. So, this is something that should be on the burner here to move this one way or the other. The recommendations from the past, I don't know, could this be a residential structure? It doesn't seem like, it's never going to be ADA compliant, I can tell you that.
Like it's too big because you need windows. Can I add something?
Yeah, Jim, please, go ahead. You were there, and
I
what's
was
your
there,
feeling?
and it's an amazing building with really, really good bones. I brought something here just for food for thought. If anybody's ever been to Newmarket, they have had a similar situation, only much larger. And the mill closed, I think, in 1926 or something like that. And my husband worked at the time. I said, I want to go see this. So we took a ride out. It's absolutely amazing. And they were kind of the stepchild around and stuff, and these were closed and these were derelict. And you look at how many thousands of square foot of commercial space, they've got some residential, high-end residential. It's beautiful. The town is just hopping. And these mills were closed. They had been closed and were derelict. And they managed to bring it around. They did it with partnerships of the town. There was like a nonprofit, and then there was a developer who does this stuff. But they worked with it in phases and got this done. And they're interesting, and I'm looking, it's like, so, there are things like, it's like they're gonna buy it, but they gotta figure out what they're gonna do, get the permits, get the this, get the that, so the final deal's not done till it's done. But I did have a concern when we talked about, okay, let's just auction it, and that'd be the easy way, be off the plate. But then we maybe someone still, I think we can do something. But that's coming from an economic development, we kind of poke things around.
Well, let me
with this.
expand that a little bit more, Jane, because I think those are good observations. What I'm most afraid of at this moment is something, the building, I think, was originally sold in, around 2000, I think. L.J. Packard sold it to, whoever the buyer was, that guy named Heath, unrelated to the fire chief. And what happened there is this individual had great plans. His timing was very bad because industrial development in that age, was going nowhere. And the real problem that we're facing is that there were 20 years of neglect.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I know we have that property for auction, and I think we don't want to make that mistake again. give it to some individual, who, maybe has pie in the sky ideas and comes in with a, low budget and says, hey, I'm gonna get to own this big building and, and do something with it. And then another 10 years go by and nothing happens.
it again.
Yeah, we own it again, but now there's no choice but to knock it down. And I guess that's where I was going with that. I think, the board and the Economic Development Committee, the board with their help, needs to come up with, some idea. Just off the top of my head, similar to what Jen's thinking of from the New Market development, is, I saw the capability here of perhaps a development company coming in, sectioning the building. I think it could hold 4, 5, 6
It's huge.
small, light industrial sites. And, the Economic Development Committee has been talking to the State Economic Development Committee, and, the kind of dialogue says we might be willing to help you get to a point where it can be developed.
Yeah.
And with the right developer in place, it could move forward. So
Interesting.
I think, however, that there is a minimum step that maybe the state can help us with in terms of securing the building. You got to stop the water from coming in, okay? Pump the water out of the basement that's been accumulating for years, and maybe clean the junk out of the way so the appearance is terrible. You look at it, it's a junkyard.
It is.
It's structurally not that bad, but the appearance will turn off anybody.
Get a broom clean.
You could almost do it like the Baltimore row houses where they sold them, and then what they did was Baltimore withheld property tax payments
Yes.
for 5 years, and then
Yes.
every year they had to check in and say, this is the progress we made.
Yeah.
To your point, that's how you eliminate the low,
Yeah.
the people that want to come in and
Right.
fantasize and never get
Good.
done.
That's
Yeah,
right.
There is that, and we can do that, I think,
Yeah.
up to 10 years or something.
Yeah.
Then there's also, if it gets on the historic register, there are income tax credits
Yep.
that could be gotten,
Yeah.
kind of things. So if you
Yeah.
get a big to help finance the
Yeah,
project.
I don't think we can do 10 years because we can't defer property tax that long, but.
Well, right now, we're not getting anything, so, and it's on negotiable.
Yeah.
And the timing may be a lot better now than it was 20 years ago.
Right.
Which I think is a factor that you take into consideration. So, I think, it's a complicated situation, but I think that, with further consideration and study that, we come up with some kind of plan. It'd be interesting to see what the auction brings, but I'm not that optimistic that, that would get the right type of buyer. And I think that's what the board has to be aware
Are you
of.
concerned? Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Auctioning concerns me a little bit because we could end up just being, as Charlie said, in the same place in 10 years.
Right.
But the building won't be in the same place in
Won't be
10
in the
years.
same place, exactly right.
The other thing, Manchester had a building like that they had taken on taxes and they were working to get it through. They ended up putting the roof on it. The city actually paid to get the roof because
Yeah.
if they didn't do it, the building was going to be gone.
That's it. That's
So
job
they
one.
did that.
That's job one, and that decision should be made relatively, certainly this year, so relatively soon, because the deterioration is accelerating.
Right.
Actually, we need a new substation.
Yeah, and obviously even tearing, that building is $1 million to tear it down.
That's gonna,
Yeah.
it's a
So,
tank.
It's
a tank.
who wants to go there? Anyway, on other subjects for the Economic Development Committee, we're getting a presentation on Wednesday. It'll be a Teams presentation, not in person, on a waste to energy project, different from what we experienced over a year ago now. This is an entity that is in the business of designing, building, owning, from the point of view of the town, there would be no technical involvement or commitment. However, that they're willing at some specified amount to pay for leasing property and or providing a royalty on the profits of the business. We don't really have a lot of detail. That's why we're getting a presentation on Wednesday, but anybody that might be interested should stop by. It's scheduled to be in this room on Wednesday at 5:30.
Can people call into the team? I'm all set to go, but can people call into the teams? Can we post the link, or is it not that kind of thing?
You know,
You can mute people, just so you know.
yeah, no, I know,
You don't
I've
like-
used it.
Yeah,
I don't know that we're going to, you know, I wish we could just like put it up on here,
Yeah.
you know, through the internet, but apparently what we're going to do is somebody's going to use their laptop and use that as a monitor and have the team, so I guess the answer is yes. Because
yeah,
it's
you could
gonna-
just give out the link. and-
Right,
and
if
then
we give out the
everyone
links, people want to join online, you know,
Yeah.
we'll try to accommodate that to the extent we can. You know, again, I don't know where this goes, but, you know, we're pursuing additional revenues in this town because we have, there's a lot of bills to pay coming up, and I think we leave no stone unturned. You know, I know the town voted the first iteration of this down decisively, but, you know, it's time to maybe look at a different twist on that and see if there's any improvement in store. So that's happening. Thank you for that opportunity.
What about solar? I hear you've already found funding for solar.
I don't know, you know, if found funding is the correct way, but I think given the town voting down the proposal by the third-party vendor, that at least a portion of that solar project, I think is important. I think it's viable. I wouldn't, I mean, my point is that it shouldn't extend beyond the landfill, and that perhaps we would develop it using some of our own resources, which may turn out to be a revenue producer for the town. So I think that's also a subject that isn't really on the agenda at the moment, but may come up through discussion and in a future analysis. We also, the beach, well, we can talk about the beach too. We're really happy, I'm happy, that the town supported the idea of looking at potential development of the beach asset. I think that opens the door for obtaining some grants. They wouldn't be that substantial, but the first step in that process is getting a hydraulic study by a certified or licensed engineer known to the state, because we have an opportunity for some state resources for those grants. And we had the Economic Development Committee of the state is involved, but particularly Northern Borders Research Company, MBRC, visited, and their representative expressed that they thought it was a desirable opportunity, that's an important piece of property because it's a bottleneck, that's quote unquote from what the NBRC resource said, and thinks that it is a viable candidate for grant money to proceed. So I think the Economic Development Committee has been busy, and these are the things hitting the table there, and we'll continue to keep this board informed of any progress that we make.
Andy, can we get Ann on the Economic Development Committee if we're talking about the beach and that passed the town vote?
Yeah, I think we should.
I don't know if we need 3 people on. I mean, Andy, then you and I you're just reporting to us. You're
That's
just
going
coming back,
to
but-
become the select board over there.
It's gonna become the
We
select
have to
board
post
development
every
committee.
meeting as a select board meeting.
Yes, yeah.
My concern is we have 2 projects right now that have been voted down in the past. We've got waste energy that the voters trashed us on. I've seen this type of proposal. I don't believe we're going to get town approval. I'm willing to go through it. What concerns me is I'm finding out that we're talking about funding for projects that haven't even come before the select board. That's not the way this is supposed to work. The select board is supposed to know about it before.
Well, I will take exception at that. Even the meeting with the representative from the MBRC, the board was fully notified. The chairman participated in the opening part of that meeting, and it was the chair's choice not to continue with some of the detailed discussions. And the Economic Development Committee is not trying to supersede the Select Board. However, its mandate is to explore these types of ideas, and it has resources beyond the Select Board to kind of shake the trees and see what's there and viable and not viable. And of course, when something is being pursued, and at this moment nothing is being pursued, then I think the Select Board, it's appropriate for the Select Board to know about it and to vote on it. So I don't think there's any violation at the moment, because it's everything I described to you is just talk. Okay, there is no vote been taken on the Economic Development Committee. There are no plans in the works. It's just talk, and that's part of our mandate, is to talk and find out what's viable. So sorry for the exception, but I think the Economic Development Committee is well within its borders in terms of pursuing these things as it has.
If you haven't talked about them, why are you trying to find financing for them? That's where I draw the line.
We have not requested any financing for any project.
You have talked about financing.
We have
You've talked about arranging financing.
We have introduced ourselves to individuals who are in the business of providing financing. There is no request for financing. There is no quote for financing. There is no amount specified for financing. It's just talk. And talk is well within the limits of the borders of the Economic Development Committee.
But I think it's becoming a problem, Andy, because of the voters. The feedback we're getting from the voters is that people are taking it as gospel. That
I'm pleased that people are picking up on the chatter, and that there's a discussion, and I've had plenty of pros and cons, particularly on the WTE presentation that's going to happen. Some think, well, it's the savior of the town in the future, and some hate it. But you know what? It's talk. It's being, talked about, and I think that's what we need. We need a public that is engaged. The residents need to, know what we're thinking and who we're talking to, and they should weigh in on it. And when you talk about the Economic Development Committee, who should be on it, I don't think it's an open meeting. We've had a number of individuals come in and fully participate. We don't limit in any way the discussions, and the board on that particular committee has been very open to public comment, and we encourage it. So there's that.
Anything else?
So are we not? So are you just suggesting Ann should go to the meetings?
Well,
I want to.
there's
I think we need to.
there are 7 individuals right now on the board. There is a little.
The committee. Committee.
On the committee,
Yeah,
sorry,
okay.
on
No,
the
you're
Economic
fine.
Development Committee, and there is a discussion there because 2 of the
Yeah.
Select Board members are on that committee, and that may have to be adjusted.
Yep.
And so I think that's, we're going to look at that on Wednesday night
We
also.
talked about that a little bit.
Okay.
We did.
So, and what the outcome of that, we'll go from there. But Ann's more than welcome, and we would consider her an important input for
For the beach and
for
yeah.
anything that we're discussing.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I'm not trying to limit her,
No, definitely with the beach and the campground,
Yeah,
but anything.
certainly.
And,
Yeah, and I think, and it's up to Ann to decide just, what her scope of involvement she'd like to have, but If you want, certainly for the beach and camps or anything we do, I don't, camping's not on the agenda anymore. That's kind of.
That's done.
We've brought that here
Goodness.
as we're supposed to, and this board made decisions, and whatever was contrary to the Economic Development Committee's, presentation, that's fine. And so, we're done as far as that issue goes. Unless the board would like to, re-challenge us with other aspects. So, and that's, again, within the boundaries of what that committee is about. Bring, work out an idea, try to solve a problem, bring the recommendation here, and the select board will act on it according to their discretion.
Anything further?
So, well, what is the ruling about two select board members being on any?
Yeah, we run the zoning board.
One cannot be a voting member.
Yes, and definitively, that seems to be what is designated by the RSA, although
Yeah.
we've had a number of violations of that in the past, but I think the Economic Development Committee wants to adhere to that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, especially where you're running parallel to the board and making recommendations. We probably don't want to.
Yeah.
Two people
I
on the
think Jenny
committee.
and I are going to discuss that with the board, with that committee, sorry.
Yeah.
And, and we'll resolve that.
But we have, we welcome any board member who wants to come if there's something on, that we're talking, because we put out agendas that's of interest, because people have interests, and your input on some of the stuff is, you're the subject matter expert, so it's very important. And as we get into other projects, there may be other people who are subject matter experts, we're not, or they have the history of the town that we don't know about. So those are big things.
Yep. And it's an open meeting. We really are encouraging people to come and tell us how they think about things. And we hope we'll have more than what we've had.
Anything further?
No, am I up next? Sorry.
Okay, next item on the agenda, charter pole attachment agreement.
Okay.
Megan, this is all you.
This is all me. A and B are me. So we have in your packets, I think Fred forgot the charter pole attachment,
Yeah.
but you have the Grafton County attachment. So charter is currently on our poles, and we do not charge them a fee.
You going to?
So we have an agreement that everyone needs to sign, but we'll vote on it tonight, and I guess I'll have Fred produce the agreement tomorrow. It's done, it's gone through legal. So once we sign it, we can start invoicing charter. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Harry looked at the agreement a year ago, Laura and I did the agreement a year ago, it's just finally coming through.
What will they be paying
$11 a pole.
a year?
Yep, which is the highest in New England for charter.
They haven't paid this tax
In 2020.
since 2019.
Yep. So
It's-
it's long overdue. In addition to that, I'll be asking people when they go, whoever the three are, if it's Charlie, anyone can go in tomorrow, please sign the charter pole agreement and the charter franchise agreement. The franchise agreement you can't really negotiate. It's their agreement with the town to be on the poles. It's their,
Actually, in looking at this agreement,
yeah.
I believe the motion needs to be that we authorize
Fred to sign it?
the town managers to sign the,
Perfect. Okay. So.
because it says representative town of Ashland.
Perfect. So let's do that one first. You guys have the poll agreement. I'll make a motion to sign the charter poll agreement, or to have Fred sign the charter poll agreement.
And I'll second that. Now, this has been to legal. and
Yes.
Has been
It's-
approved by legal.
Yep, and I told Laura we're finally signing it.
Yeah.
And we've been working with the general counsel, or I've been working with the general counsel at charter.
So I have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
The second one that goes,
We need to
Oh.
do the franchise agreement first.
that's the one I was just gonna do.
Okay.
Do you want me to, or do you want
Yeah,
to make
do
a
the
motion?
franchise
Okay.
agreement.
I'll also make a motion, the parallel agreement to this is the charter franchise agreement, which we have not signed since 2019. Is also executed at the same time as the poll agreement, in parallel by Fred.
So I'll make a motion that we authorize Fred to sign the franchise agreement with Charter.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
So I'm whipping through
And
these
this is
guys.
5 years?
I believe it's a 5-year agreement. I'd have to look at that,
That's what I
but
read.
we'll just renew it in 5 years and do an inflation adjustment every year. The third one, and this is more exciting, we finally got to a point with Grafton County that we'll have a pole agreement with Grafton County for the fiber. It's the same agreement as Charter, it's just with the county. I already talked to Harry, they're gonna come to town and do a survey of all the poles, and then we can push back, or not push back, we can have the negotiation with Grafton County to upgrade our poles at that point. And this is, just to be clear, guys, this is just the middle mile. It's the free fiber that Grafton County got to run fiber to town offices, and then from there, Hub 66 has agreed to take on to run to everyone's house. So that's a separate agreement. This is for Grafton County. The answer I need to have a vote for Fred to sign it, but in addition, there was a lot of confusion. I guess Grafton County was told to run the fiber here, and then about 3 weeks ago, they were told not to run the fiber here, to run it to the town hall. So I just told them I would ask, they just have to redo their survey and their diagrams, depending on where we want to run it.
You're only getting 1 point in
There's, because it only connects, the backbone will only connect to one building,
and then.
and then it goes off, it's called the last mile from there, so the
Right.
fiber will.
So will they be extending the fiber, or are they gonna be extending it? Okay, say you run the fiber to town hall,
Yep.
and then we want it down here. Will they be extending it down here, or
No.
that's something we would have to do if we wanted to, or
Hub
could we do it?
66.
Hub 66 would do it. So Hub
Okay.
66, what we agreed to is that they're doing the fiber for the county, and then they also agreed for Ashland to pay the like $5 million to run it to everyone's house, so they would extend it down here.
Okay.
So we only get one shot at where we want the free fiber to go, and I didn't think it should be my choice, so I'm not indifferent.
My thought is, electrical's gonna be dealing with this at some point in time, I'm sure.
Yep.
It should be here, not the town hall.
Okay.
That's my thought. I mean,
What do you guys think?
I know it was originally supposed to go to the town office, but there's more room down here than there is up there.
Yes, okay. I'm just asking this because in my past job, I owned 60 miles of fiber that went to, so it's like on the layout, trying to think, you got where the town offices are, where you think you're ultimately going to want to get it and look at it, because they're going to pay to get to the spot.
Just one spot.
One
though.
spot, so what's the most economically cheapest way? Do you want to be able to get it over to the septic thing? Do you want to be able to, wherever the new, if you ever did police, we don't have a police station, but getting to town, getting down here, maybe getting over to, I don't know,
Well,
just.
they're gonna run it, so even if it's here, they'll still have to run it back to the town office, and if it's at the town office, they'll have to run, Hub 66 will have to run it here. It
Right,
doesn't-
right, but it's like, but they're coming in, is that gonna be like your main hub and you're gonna go out from there or someplace else? Because you can star it, you can daisy chain it, but you'd rather, then you end up needing rings, so if you can, I don't know, just looking for.
I
that
don't think
would
we'll
just-
need rings, I think, and I don't.
Well, okay, you do fake rings, but it is, yeah.
But they, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters if
Okay.
the hub's here or if it's at the
Okay,
town
we don't
hall.
have that many locations anyways.
We don't have that many locations,
Okay.
and honestly, like, once they run it, so like town hall's centrally located, if we wanna put it there, and then it's just
Yeah.
who needs the fiber, the free fiber more, who's consuming more, is it the town hall or is it down here?
Right, yeah.
So it's just for,
I don't know.
this is just for town use, I mean, we're talking about?
This is just for the town hall, they got grant money
Okay.
to run, so they'll run the backbone, and then the spider web from there is going to be Hub 66.
This is just fiber for municipal use,
Yep. Yep.
maybe
it's,
school.
it's just the Grafton
Municipal.
County middle mile grant.
Then it
Okay.
needs to go to town hall.
Okay.
Town
Town hall?
Thinking.
Okay. I will, if we can vote to sign they need the pole attachment agreement in order to do the survey. So they can't do the survey and then the pole attachment, and it's the same rate at $11. I checked the surrounding towns, like Littleton, and we're getting a really good rate, so.
I have a question. Is the town going to own this fiber when it's done, or this?
So this, we will get payment, no, so Grafton County is the one we're signing the agreement. So Grafton County will pay us for the pole attachment every year. So it's not like the town will get they're paying to put it in, and then the Hub 66 though, we will have to manage that.
Okay,
We don't own the fiber.
right. You don't own the fiber, and you're not paying for are you paying for the fiber, or is it part of a grant, or how
It's
is
part of the grant for municipalities to have free internet.
it? Okay, so, and they're going to pay us to be on the poles, huh? Okay. All right.
Yep, and they'll actually pay us, the other good news is they will pay us, when they come out to do the survey, it's gonna require Harry's, like, a lineman to go out to
Right,
do
right.
all that, and they'll reimburse us for the time that
Okay,
takes to.
all right, good,
So-
good.
Yeah, they have the money ready to roll, and
Okay.
we're like the last town to
Okay.
get fiber.
Good deal.
Welcome
Let's
to
get
the 21st.
Let's
Welcome
get
to the 2020.
That's
So,
good.
yeah, so we're still hoping that Hub 66 can offer for people in town like $20 to $60 a month internet. So,
Let's see. Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve the poll agreement for, yeah,
for
For
the
broadband.
Grafton County.
for
Yep.
Grafton County.
Yep.
Correct.
I'll second.
So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Okay. So tomorrow I'll have Fred sign, I'll have you guys sign, I'm sorry, I will have Fred sign the charter agreement, the franchise agreement, the Grafton County fiber pole agreement, and then I'll let you know about the survey. From there, these are the projects no one wanted last year that I got to pick up, so I'm happy they're finally getting closed out.
Well, I think you ought to.
Fred's gonna sign those.
Fred's
Gonna sign
everything.
those, yep. And then this next one, guys, is these are the young men from MIT. They're in the process of procuring a new turbine. So I am not evaluating the actual technology here, but they've been working with McLean Vigo, our energy attorney, this is just for them, it's our agreement with the town for them to interconnect and wheel to Eversource or the co-op. They can sell to Ashland, that's perfectly okay, but they at least want that interconnect and wheeling agreement in place while they're working out, like, the landscape of where to sell. So, been approved many times by legal, this one. They've been in negotiations for like 6 months now. So,
Well, yeah, let's help move them along, so we wish them well.
yeah, they've been very, very good to work with, very eager to get it going, and
Very good, exciting.
yeah,
Exciting. Yeah.
And
so,
we want to reward their initiative.
yeah, good on them. So, anyway, this went through McLean, so I did not send it to municipal council, just because it's gone through our attorneys in Concord.
Yep.
So I'd like to make a motion that we sign the interconnecting and wheeling agreement for the folks from MIT. Can't remember their entity name. To remind me.
So this signature page has
Is that Fred
the
again?
electric department signing it.
Perfect. I'll have Harry sign it if you guys. Or I'm
Well,
sorry,
we'll
I'll
make that
have,
a
I'll
part
have
of the
Fred
mo-
have it sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make that a part of the motion.
Okay, I make a motion to have Fred sign the interconnect and wheeling agreement. And just so you guys know, if they do wheel power, we get a fee from that. So. any megawatt they wheel out, we get a percentage of it.
Also where they're parked.
So we get a percentage. Oh, so they're paying to be transported on our lines, and then we
Yep.
get a percentage
Yes.
of the power. Good deal.
We don't, no, we don't get a percentage of the
No,
power.
we get
We get a wheeling
wheeling.
fee.
the wheeling fee.
Yep.
But, okay, if they start, okay, I get it, okay.
So right now, they don't have a PPA with the town, so they can't sell to the town.
Okay.
They have to sell to, if we sign this, they would have to sell to the co-op or Eversource. I'm sure they would be, as my talks with them, again, happy to sell to us, but
Yeah, let's let them
Let's let
generate
them-
some
yeah, let's get it
electricity
going.
so we
let's
can
get
talk
it
about
Yeah.
it.
going, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
this is just their next step to actually test the equipment and
Yep.
get it running.
yeah.
Okay, I make a motion to have Fred sign the interconnect and wheeling agreement.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Any opposed?
I think that is, okay. I'll
Next
stop
item
sweating
on the
my
agenda
ideas.
is planning board resignations. We've had 2 resignations on the planning board. Mardine Badger and Pauline Hancock have both decided to resign after years of service, and we thank them for their service. I make a motion that we accept their resignations.
Second.
Yeah.
I have a motion and a second to accept their resignations. Any further discussion?
Except with regret?
With regret. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Mr. Chairman, if you will, we also have a zoning board resignation, happens to also be Mardine Badger, who
Okay.
had a position on the zoning board. Do we need to process that as a board, or how do you like to proceed with
We
that?
usually do.
Well, I'd like to say something, prior to the motion and the vote. Mardine has been instrumental in, I think, the shaping of that board, the operating of that board, the knowledge of the zoning regulations and the requirements. I would say that she has been an important mentor to me in that process as I began to get involved some years ago in the zoning board, in terms of participating. Going to miss Mardine on that board, and I think it leaves a challenge to replace her level of knowledge and understanding of the rules and regulations. So, given that, I respect her wishes, and I'll make a motion to accept her resignation with regret.
And I will second that. So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
So how many people are left on the board? If 2 resign from the planning board.
I believe both boards,
Yeah, are you still full? Did you call up your alternate? Am I your alternate?
You're the alternate.
As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, I'm the
I'm pretty
alternate.
sure, I'm pretty
I think
sure
she has a
both boards
question.
have enough alternates to take care of it. Go
Call
ahead.
me if you need me.
About Mardine, I've known Mardine for many years, and, her position on boards is, exceptional, and, I know from my view, that's gonna be difficult. She will be difficult to replace. I know everybody can be replaced. But, yeah, she was instrumental, and, Charlie's right, and it's on the planning board and zoning.
It's a level of commitment that's hard to come by,
Yeah, and knowledge,
knowledge.
yeah, planning.
No, I
Yeah.
believe they've got 2
She's gonna stay in the
alternates.
library board, right? I think.
Haven't heard anything different.
So we have an application to serve as a voting member of the planning board. This person is currently an alternate member and does not vote. It's Linda Barnes. I'll make a motion that we approve Linda Barnes to be a member of the
voting
board.
member of the board. I can second that.
So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I believe we still have an alternate in the planning board. I'll have to check. Special town meeting, electric department. So we have our first meeting, provided we get court approval, on April 8th. We haven't set the time yet. We will be doing that very shortly.
Okay.
Actually, we need to do it today.
Yeah, when's April 8th? Is this
We've got to have it in 10 days early. April 8th is a Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
That's the deliberative session you're talking about?
That's the first deliberative session, yes.
So we just need to pick a time?
We need to pick a time, and I'm gonna, I hate to say this, I'm gonna suggest 6:30.
Oh, sorry. Was that
At
too
night?
loud? At night? Yeah.
It's daylight savings time now. It's okay to start an hour later. It's still not dark.
I see what young whippersnappers. We gotta go to bed at night. What do you?
Well,
My thought process is there's a lot of people in town that work out of town, and that gives them time to get home, maybe catch a bite to eat before the meeting.
great idea. I can go with that.
6:30.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we approve the meeting time for 6:30 PM on April 8th. Do I have a second?
I can second that.
So I have a motion and a second.
Let's second.
Do we have any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries.
It's my first nay on the board, I think. I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, next item on the agenda is One Hill Avenue. I'm gonna move that to non-public.
Okay.
And they would like us to advertise for vacant positions on boards, commissions, and committees.
Do we have any?
We've had some resignations. We'd like to have more than enough people. We've got a couple of boards that are committees that should be running that aren't, one being Conservation Committee. If you've got some free time and you want to help the town, please join us. Application is online.
We should come up with a fancy advertisement.
Fancy
Is there anybody
slogan.
on the Conservation Committee?
I'm sorry?
Is there anybody on?
No, there is not.
No
We're
one's on the
supposed to have one.
cons- I thought-
We, because we don't have one, we are the Conservation Committee. Do we have any old business?
You guys are the Conservation Committee.
Do we have
Aye.
any selectmen items?
I do. Well, we need to, apparently we need to vote on accepting a $50,000 donation from an anonymous donor from the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation for the after-school program / summer camp program.
It's great.
That'll cover the program.
Well, that is what it is. He called and asked me what it would take to do that.
Nice.
And then also, I'd like to ask the board, I'm confused as to where it goes, because when we did the basketball stuff, it went to AARA. so that it didn't have to go into the general fund and they could just give me checks and stuff like that, because I don't have a line that I can put it in and, have it just come out. If that makes sense. Like, all my budget lines are,
That's a bookkeeping question. We're gonna have to get that from Marissa or Fred. I really don't have a clue.
well, Marissa talked to, who's the guy that comes in and talks to her every once in a while?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the town manager for Pittsfield.
And he said if it's a substantial amount, then it's not supposed to go in because I have no place to put it. I would say this is a substantial amount. I don't know. I just want to make sure I can use it
Well,
and it doesn't go into the general fund.
how does this affect the vote? The vote was successful in giving the Parks and Recreation Department its own
To accept it,
fund.
but not, I won't have my own fund to accept the money, because what the plan was, when I talked to everybody before, was it was gonna go into AARA, because,
Substantial amount of money.
Right.
Did your warrant article pass?
yes.
Yeah, so she has
But doesn't
an
that say
account.
campground and beach?
No, it says Parks and Recreation, doesn't it?
Oh.
Sounds
I don't know.
If it says
I'm
Parks
pretty-
and Rec.
Parks
you
and
just
Rec,
put it
I
in
I
there.
believe it says Park and
Yeah,
Recreation.
it's a
and I believe
it's a
it can go there.
department-wide fund.
That would be good.
Intended to be used for Parks and Rec's activities, and also, if there's excess revenue, hopefully, I mean, it would build up in that fund for maintenance purposes, improvements, et cetera. I mean, the whole idea was to create Parks and Recs as an entity,
Yeah.
an economic entity for the town that would be able to control its own expenditures. So if this is for Parks and Rec, I mean, how do we get it into that new fund?
I'm not sure,
And
but
it's-
we can vote to accept it.
Pending a resolution of how to
We just
process
don't know where
it.
to put
You
it.
just vote to accept it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We can vote to accept it, and I'll make that motion that we accept it, and we will let the learner figure out where it's gotta go.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion?
No, that's great.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion
Congrats, Ann.
carries.
Can I just abstain? Just 'cause it's
Oh,
my
yeah,
apartment.
it's your
Yeah,
department.
4-1.
Or 01.
Yeah, 401, correct. Okay, do we have any other selectmen's business? All right, next item on the agenda will be a non-public session. RSA 91-A semicolon 3.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Okay, on the schedule,
I kinda
there is a
did.
board meeting.
Versus not
on the
even
20th?
trying to take notes, but.
I'll tell you a secret.
Is there one on
I
the
got through
20th?
college, never took notes.
Yes, we have a public hearing on the 20th.
And the 8th? Wait,
And the 8th? Because that one said it was for the electrical thing.
Yeah, the public hearing on the 20th is for the water department.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to be, it's gonna be a public hearing for funding, and I can't remember exactly what it is about.
Okay, so that one's for water. Okay, that's not electric.
Thompson Street and Winona Road is what the
Yeah.
notice says.
Okay, Thompson, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we're gonna go to RSA 91-A-3, A and I, no, L.
I'm not
I'll second that. Is that a motion?
Yep.
Okay.
So I have a motion.
Well-oiled machine over here.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All righty.